Yeah. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a good start to your Tuesday. A good Monday. Yesterday in the baseball streets. What a weird stretch. I think a lot of people that tried baseball and stuck with it for a couple weeks, you have finally got the taste of variance, the random injuries, the random teams going off. It's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. The 8% K rate pitchers looking like Cy Young Award winners. We're gonna bust open some Hazel chocolate protein. What up, Pojan? What up, EB? What up, Psyop? What up, Josh, Cujo? Hope you're all doing all right. That's pretty good. Roll up the sleeves. Yeah, you can set a goal. What does that do? Make super chat fun, more fun with a goal. Pick a goal. 10 super chats. Choose the super chat colors that count. Heal and higher. What the heck? Is that a timer? Share how you'll celebrate. It's like a... Huh. What would that benefit? But I guess down I don't know. I don't want to whore people for money. That's stupid. 10 super chats. We'll drop one 6-pick home run card that will definitely not hit. What a Pojan. Hockey point props, dude. You know what's funny? My little honey bee. She's a Canadian, and she's into hockey, but she doesn't watch any other sports. So yesterday we were hanging out, and it was the NBA game where Steph and Dylan Brooks, all them dudes were getting all scrappy, and then they're getting ready to throw texts and all that stuff. And she goes, "Are they allowed to fight?" And I was like, "Huh? What do you mean? Can they fight?" I was like, "No." Then it hit me, hockey. That's all she knows is sports, is hockey. Where, yeah, we can fight. Let's go. And I was like, man, imagine if that was in American sports, especially basketball. You can just see Dylan Brooks throwing up, throwing down. What up, Conscious? What up, Jay? Waiting for half appetizers and milkshakes from Carl's Jr. Let's go. Thanks for chilling. All right, we got a lot of baseball today. Let me get the big screen up. We'll do some play. A lot of hockey. I mean, there's some romantic about fighting when you want to, and not the trailer park romantic. Just you got a problem with another dude on ice skates? Let's do this. Let's freaking do this. Speaking of let's do this, we gotta crank open this slate, get started. What up, G Money? Oh, guys, I think I told you yesterday, they're replacing my roof. I guess the whole thing. And about since 7 a.m., so like 5-6 hours. A lot of banging, so it always sounds like someone's at the door, but it's just hammers on the roof, I guess. So here's some banging. Don't worry about it. Mind your business. Let's get into game number 1, which I don't know how these games are set up on the sites right now. I know there's 2 slates. There's a 4-game pre-slate on DK, but it looks like it won't have this game. Or yeah, it will. I don't know. Oh, now when I type names there. Why did I just type Ty France? Hello? Wait, what am I doing? Oh, did this? Oh, there it is. NBA players can't fight. All scared. Bring back Ron. Oh, yeah, right. Let the players police themselves. I don't know, man. There's a lot of NBA players that want to represent themselves as gangsters in street life. And it was like, hey man, you're a millionaire, dude. You got like 30 cars. You're not standing outside the front of the 7-Eleven from debating leaving the gas pump to go get a slushy. What are we talking about? 4.1 run total for the Twins. And Twins. 4.6 for the Guardians. Now there's some real NBA players I wouldn't want to mess with back in the day. But they usually weren't the Dylan Brooks type. They were like the people that didn't say much, but I don't know. Neck tat, right? Zach Randolph. Boogie, I guess I wouldn't mess with him. What up, Andy? All right, we got this game, which I guess is not on the others on the DK early. I don't know if it's on the Fanduel early, but it's the Twins and the Guardians. We got Chris Paddock taking on Tanner Bybee. Get your projections out of there. 4.1 run total for the Twins, 4.6 for the Guardians. Chris Paddock with a sub 20% K rate, not what you want. Sub 10% swing and strike rate, not what you want. 1.61 whip. The home run per nine, super elevated. Both sides of the plate, not a lot to like here. So if it's not on a DFS slate, you don't have to worry about playing them. But if you are prop betting, it certainly would open your eyes to some Guardians bats. Stephen Kwan, he's got a pretty nice on base streak going on. He's batting almost 300 against righties since the beginning of last year. 816 OPS with a sub 10% K rate. So could be a good spot for him to attack the almost 6x FIP against lefties, the 2+ homer per nine, and the 15% walk rate. And it's not, Stephen Kwan's not immune to stealing some bags. Nolan Jones, J-Ram, Manzardo, all guys that I would kind of repeat that for and maybe be more focused on the power, particularly with J-Ram and Manzardo. So that's how I would go that. Bybee on the bump. So far this season, his strikeout stuff has not been there. Don't know if I want to. I guess since it doesn't really matter for a big slate context, I'm not gonna super dive into it. But after this start, maybe next start, he'll fall onto a slate that matters. But like I didn't expect him to be such a low K rate guy and a low swing and strike rate guy. So we'll see if he finds some of that stuff coming back. Just on the surface, let's see what his like stuff plus says. It's not great. Sliders goes 102 overall. Yeah, it's like super average. So this is kind of a washy game where I'd just be focused on hitters unless I was really wanting to dabble in some unders. Not a ton of K rate to go around. I'll put a pitcher projection in there for both of them just for the heck of it. Paddock will go 20%. Bybee will go 18%. Walk rate on Paddock will go 12%. Walk rate on Bybee will go 12%. If it did, let's see what the books got for us. Might fire away a couple PrizePicks cards on games that feel right. I don't know that this is one, but yeah. Actually don't have anything on either pitcher here. What the freak? I'm just gonna give them both 15.5. And that's all I got to say about that. Those Heat Nick games where Riley went to Miami, yeah, dude, it was different back in the day. Watching on the Chromebook, don't need the bifocals. What up, Philip? Rasheed Wallace, yeah. What you think about Erod today? We're gonna get there. He's quite a ways away. But I will say, just on the surface, it looks like some of the strikeout stuff that he's been bringing isn't that crazy. So, or not unexpected. So let's see. Erod on the surface. Mets. Ugh. Not my favorite matchup. Not my favorite matchup, but we'll get there though. We're gonna go game by game here. I haven't really swum where all I did was type the games in last night. Let's get the Yankees and the Oriole game in there, man. That game yesterday was baseball Susan 101. Yankees a 5.4 run total. Orioles a 4.3. Carlos Rodon taking the bump here for the Yankees up against Kyle Gibson returning. So I guess first and foremost, we'll see his rehab starts. Like he has 3 outings in the minors, got up to 5 innings in his last outing, a strikeout per inning. He gave up a bomb, 217 overall average allowed, a 1 whip, that's pretty good. 2 walks in his last outing. So 5 innings seems like a fair projection, but also feels like maybe the top end. I don't know exactly how many pitches he got to, but I would guess probably 70 to 80 would be the expectation. It's not really a matchup you want anyway, so I don't think I'm playing Kyle Gibson. The 5.4 run total, you have to throw the Yankees at the top of the interest ranking. And then Carlos Rodon, man, he is looking like the truth so far. 30+% K rate, just a 1 whip, 2.9 expected ERA. And there's been a few times where it looks like he's in trouble early on, and he bounces back just fine. In that last game against Cleveland, I think he gave up an early, a couple of early somethings, and then came back and put up back-to-back 30 fantasy point games. So we'll look for 3 in a row here against Baltimore. He has not pitched against Baltimore so far this season. Baltimore has been such a Jekyll and Hyde versus what we expected them to be versus what we want them to be and versus the results so far. I'm not all the way off of the bus when it comes to believing in them, but this has certainly been a team that is falling short. Sure, they've been dealing with some injuries, some inconsistencies in the lineup, but it would be baseball for them to go off today and Rodon finally get that beat up game. But we got to play the numbers. We're gonna go Rodon first, and then we'll go a little bit of Orioles, but not really that enthralled with the thought of the Orioles. Yesterday, the Yankees did go to Devin Williams, and also Ryan Yarbrough did much of the bulkness. So even though they lost that game, almost came back. When you think about it, they would have won that game if I think Goldie got a homer robbed. I think. But they didn't, so they lost by 1. But what this does mean is that their best pitcher of the year so far in terms of strikeouts, I guess Max Fried, you can make a case there too, but Rodon he's been solid. If Rodon has a good game like he's been having the last couple games where he goes 6 or 7, then you shut it down because Luke Weaver is going to steal an inning, Fernando Cruz is going to steal an inning, and then there might be 1 inning of limbo here. So may not get 9 innings of quality at bats for the Orioles. I think the field will probably understand that, but just something to think about. But if they do get through Rodon, he sweats early, then it could get ugly. But they wouldn't get Yarbrough. That's what yesterday was for. Probably just a group effort. Ian Hamilton, Timmy Hill, Mark Leader. So go with that. What up, Justin Sports? What up, Lone Wolf? Crazy O'Hearn was under 10%. I mean, I'm not going to say I called him the homer, but we definitely spotlighted O'Hearn's value for a homer versus Jesus. Ghost Energy. Hey, man, appreciate that, Pojen. Yeah, chat, we got monetized yesterday. Woo. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, we definitely talked about Ryan O'Hearn's home run value on the board versus the bomb detector, where the bomb detector has been exposing a lot of just horrendous tax on home run props. So I do like it to find some good value. Jesus, Augustine Ramirez. The spreadsheet's broken, 21% probability. He's been that good. And we were like, yeah, O'Hearn's there. He's a cleanup hitter. The spreadsheet had a fair market odd for somewhere around 500, and you could get him for 900 at the time. I think he closed at 850. And I was like, yeah, those are the bets that you should probably be going after versus trying to chase. Like at one point yesterday, Kyle Higashioka was like plus 250 to homer. Love Kyle. The whole reason I looked is because the bomb detector liked him, but the bomb detector didn't like him at plus 250, man. Now, like, there's some just crazy names that get crazy low odds that are horrendous, and people bet them and don't think about what they're actually paying when they attach it to their parlays, or they just attach it 1-to-1. Really start to understand the probabilities that you're paying for, because even, you know, we like Ohtani and Aaron Judge daily, but a lot of times we're paying 40% implied probability for them to homer, and that's just not baseball. Like, that's just bad. I don't know, just my little public service announcement, PSA. He was dual position on Fanduel. Dang. Let's get a Rodon projection. We'll go 30% K rate. Kyle Gibson, we'll go 20%. Rodon, 8.5. On the walk rate, I don't know what that number is. Like 2 base prop bets, it's a hedge on bomb bets. Dude, on some of these bomb bets, like, if you really start looking, like 2.5, 3.5 bases are probably paying the same or better. Like, I was looking at that Higashioka over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and it was like, it wasn't quite the same, obviously, as a 1-to-1 to a homer, but it was like not that far. So you could just bet that with an extra dollar, like an extra unit or whatever. And then the under on that was like 50% implied probability. I'm like, what are people betting on right here? They just go straight to the home run column and don't like think about what the best bet is. But that's, I mean, that's the whole point. Books are just feeding off of ignorance. Give them my 8% walk rate. All right, so I would imagine we'll be at 17.5 for Rodon. We are 14.5 for Gibson. I'm gonna give Rodon a pair of points towards a QS. What up, Ayo? People do pay for big name PSYOP, but they also, like, if you looked at that Rangers and Athletics game yesterday, I mean, Kyle Higashioka at plus 250 or whatever it was to homer is insane. He was batting second, so that's, and the bomb detector liked him, so I liked him for a homer, but plus 230 is insane. This is all I'm getting at. Move on from this game. Yeah. Let's go Cardinals and the Reds out there in Great American. We do have a Reds confirmed lineup, so we'll get that punched in. No way, LV. Oh shoot. Got Brady Singer taking on Miles Michaelis. Cardinals with a 4.5 run total. Reds with a 5.3. This is a fun spot for the Reds, I think. Michaelis, a 1.52 whip, heavily influenced by his high contact profile, 12% K percentage this season, a 6% swing and strike rate, 8% barrel rate. All that is pretty dangerous in this ballpark. And what's especially dangerous is his splits to lefties. 300 plus average allowed, a 30% line drive rate, a 40% hard contact rate, and a 3-year career low of a sub 30% ground ball rate. Losing my voice here, y'all. Hasn't allowed a homer yet, but I would be kind of curious to see if that would change if all those games are in Great American. Need a Little Mermaid, give my voice. In Great American, he would have given up 3 homers so far. Now that I don't know if it'd be against lefties or righties, but he hasn't had any homers allowed. So he would go to 3. So certainly could pop that cherry if you will, Daddy Dusty Rhodes. If all goes accordingly. So Reds top of the interest ranking here against Michaelis. Of course, Ellie De La Cruz at the top, but Gavin Lux looking pretty good up there lately as well. I think he had a 3-hit day yesterday, maybe a 4-hit, 3-hit day, and he's coming off of a couple of 2-hit days in cores. Just has been really good at getting on a 352 average so far this season. So nice little handcuff there. If we were going to play that on PrizePicks, but Ellie, they always give you his fantasy points, which is kind of fun because he steals and all that stuff. We'll do that. Then Gavin Lux, we'll take his. Get a 1.5. No. Dang, dude, they're really screwing you here. Can't really get much off of that. Guess you'd have to go crazy with the hits, runs, RBIs. Man, they really tight that board up. That's frustrating. I just read something and didn't respond to it publicly. Thoughts? I'm just kidding. So we're not playing Miles Michaelis. We do have to put a pitcher projection in there for him. 12% K rate. So 8% walk rate. Brady Senga, 28% K rate for him. 18, who would win a fight? You? How about 300 U's or a gorilla? I don't think 100 U's are getting it. Go. We have props. Or not props, do we have outs for that game? Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna give him a 15.5. Michaelis, that is. Singer, I'll kind of go 17. I'm gonna go 16.5 for now. 6.55. Yeah, we'll go 16.5. If Singer's gonna get got, it is typically against lefties. $1.5 home run per 9 to lefties since the beginning of last year. Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, 2 guys that stand out. 300 me versus 1 gorilla, 290 me. Have an off day. Jesus. If you see me fighting a gorilla, you better help the gorilla. You know what I'm saying? I do think. I think there is a world where Singer's playable here. Do we get him over the Cards offense? For me, I'm gonna say no, but we will have him in the podium. What up, Maine? You doing all right, bro? I almost just ate one of these again. These little dog jerkies. First of all, they're not even made out of real dog. I'm just kidding. They're made for dogs, but it's turkey and sweet potato. The other day I had my own munchies and I almost went in there and got one, and I don't know, man. We foaming at the mouth. Someone said Braun can't handle one Ant Edwards. I don't know, man. In my history, the guys that talk the most, they ain't about that. Guys that don't talk, that's what you got worried about. So I ain't worried about them talkers. Next up, we got Cubs and Pirates. We just got a Pirates lineup. Did I put it? Yeah, I did. Run total for the Cubs here, 4.7. Imanaga twirling the seams against Andrew Heaney. Pirates lineup. Freshly healthy Alvin O'Neill, Cruz, Brian Reynolds, McCutcheon, Joey Bott, Brian Hayes, Matt Gorski. That is a shovelman a locker name right there. First, let me see your answers on your test. A lot of righties in that lineup. Give some thumbs. Give some love. Thumbs up, please. Yeah, appreciate that, Chris. I talk a lot. I ain't about. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nah, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't want to fight, but I will. I'm retired, man. All those fights, them concrete jungle fights. I wish I could show y'all. So some of them I have on film somewhere. Some of them I'm not supposed to have. Imanaga, 20% K rate, 13% swing and strike rate, 11% barrel rate. And on the other side, Andrew Heaney somehow looking pristine, a sub 8 whip, 26% K rate, 12% swing and strike rate. And you put him in PNC Park, which is a home run vacuum cleaner, taking away some fly balls here. With that said, man, the Cubs have been in high octane, high scoring, powerhouse offense that also score by more than just bombs. They'll go out there and be super aggressive on the base running path. And I think we've kind of discussed that a few times, is not only do they lead the league in runs, they lead the league in stolen bases, and it's by a pretty significant margin, 7 over the Brewers. So 7th in homers, tied for 6th, I guess you could say, in homers, but number 1 in stolen bases. They are 7th in walk percentage, and I guess that's all we need to look at. I was going to look at hits, first in hits. So it's not just a bomb stack when you get them, but when you are up against a fly ball pitcher, that kind of works to his advantage. He can steal some more outs, and that's why a lot of times you'll see the good fly ball pitchers have a low average allowed. And that's what you see with Heaney, a 136 average allowed to righties with such a low home run per 9 because the fly balls are staying in the park. And with an xFIP that's kind of on his side. So I'll never not be interested in this Cubs offense against anybody. But at 7,600, feels like Heaney, getting that $2,000 discount from site to site, feels like he's in play just from hey, this is a 4-game slate. What are we talking about? Well, we got Wheeler and we got Rodon. So we do have a chance at a double barrel 30 game. But Heaney is underpriced if we think one of those guys don't get there. And I guess it's not outside the realm of possibility for him to get a 30, as he's done it twice this season so far. But man, 6 innings strong in 4 games straight. So certainly not the hardest strength of schedule. Miami, Yankees, the Reds, the Nationals, and the Angels. Maybe there's some regression from a strength of schedule coming his way, and today we'll find out. And Imanaga, I think some of that strikeout stuff will come back from last year because the swing and strike rate's still there. The batted ball data is pretty similar to last year, but the home runs allowed to righties are still there as well. So I'm gonna go in this game specifically. I think there's an angle for 4 corners But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe go Pirates over Imanaga, because a lot of Imanaga strikeout stuff this year is coming from lefties. Righties has been super diminished, but there is room for regression to last year, about 8%. So, this Pirates lineup has one lefty. I'm gonna stay with the shot at him, but it does feel like I'll be super top heavy on like a Rodon and Wheeler. Bad weather day in Chicago. I did see a lot of wind earlier. Is that for the White Sox game? Yeah. Or do you mean in Pittsburgh for the Chicago game? So let me open up, see if Kevin Roth put the Cubs. Oh, so in Pittsburgh, yeah. Models are kind of all over the place trying to pin this down. As of now, I don't have any real details beyond scattered showers and storms. St. Louis at Cincy doesn't look great based on current models. I think there's legit postponement risk here today. Even up to list. Okay. Well, game we already talked about. So let's come back and throw an orange. Possibly very bad weather. Roth speculates EPD, and I'll put a link to Mr. Ross thing here. Hey, this early state just might get nuked then, huh? Banned from my Discord? Which one? You're just saying stuff. Ain't nobody banned from a new one because it's the benefit of it being premium. Jesus. So the same thing here, I guess. We'll go orange. Unpredictable weather at time of analysis. Roth's report. I'll put a link there. But the orange is pretty scary. What else did he have from? Did I close it? I didn't close it. Did I close it? There it is. Couple yellows, yeah. Minnesota and Cleveland. Indubitably. Yeah, that would really make that slate kind of suck. We need to do a pitcher projection. Imanaga. The 20%. Uni 26. .5 on the walk. Maybe that's why we didn't see a line on that game, yeah? The outs for Cincy. Or and we don't have one on this one. So we're gonna do 15.5. We're gonna do 16.5, and then gotta know that it probably won't happen. That can't happen. Nationals and the Phillies. Nats run line 3.7. Phillies 5. Zach Wheeler, Mackenzie Gore, Mackenzie Gore with a 37% carry rate on the season, and that all started when I lost my mother. No, it all started with the Phillies on opening day with 13 strikeouts, which was the first of 2 times that he offered 13 strikeouts, the second of which being at Coors. Now, his strength of schedule does involve a very low-K Toronto team, the world champion Dodgers, Coors Field, and then Miami and Baltimore, which the jury's out on Baltimore. Miami, we can kind of be like, okay, but we are getting 100+ ish pitches from them in all those starts. So we got to give them some respect as it stands now. But the Phillies have a 5-run total, and this might be baked in from the second half as the Nationals bullpen is so bad. A 7.3 ERA, easily the worst in baseball, I believe. A 1.78 WHIP and over a 1 homer per 9. And the Phillies bullpen not much better, and we've seen the Nationals have some late magic as well. So think, how do we split this up? I think we're going pitchers first here, obviously. I think I'm gonna go Wheeler, Mackenzie Gore. Then we're gonna go Phillies. I really don't want to type Nats. I want to type Abrams, Woods, and Dylan Cruz. I guess Nate Lowe. I guess you could get to Nats. Substack. What I'm gonna say. The bullpen of the Phillies sucks. So, but Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore should profile as like the best pitchers on the slate. But if we lose 2 games, it becomes a 2-game slate, and then those are Rodon and Gibson versus them two, and them two do get the bandbox of Citizen Bank. So that's like could get really ugly. Mackenzie Gore at 37% K rate, striking out both sides just fine. I'm gonna give him a little bit of a tax, 35%. Wheeler, we're gonna give him a 34%. The walk rate on Gore 7. Let's go 6.5. And for Wheeler, go 5. Give outs for this one. 18.5. Team on the under. We'll go 18 and 17.5. And we'll give him 2 on the QS. And that's gonna zero out our early slate. So let's do this. They're all Wheeler or Heaney. Hopefully they make those postponement decisions pretty soon. So far this year they have been, for the most part, I believe. Sometimes they've been making the decisions a little too conservative too. We saw a Yankee game get postponed on, was it Sunday? And it really didn't need to. Either Saturday or Sunday. In the middle of all that, we did get a Twins lineup, so we can confirm that. Rodon comes out on top, Gore actually second, and then Wheeler, which is kind of weird because I gave Wheeler 2 towards a quality start, right? No, I gave it to Gore. That's my bad. Although Gore's not really like out of contention for that. I did the outs backwards. All right, we'll do it like that then. There we go. Now that should shake it up. Wheeler's number 1. Yep, that's about right. Let's go afternoon stack rating. If you guys are wondering what the heck I'm doing, I'm live updating the premium sheet for MLBgrind.com members. If you guys want to add this to your daily repertoire of tools to research baseball slates and kind of process things, go to MLBgrind.com, click premium memberships, week pass, month pass, season pass. Jump into Discord. And you also get a link to the spreadsheet. We also do pitcher projections, hitter fantasy projections. I'm definitely working on prop projections for hitters. We did juice up the bomb detector to kind of include good odds for prop betting, but yeah, that's what we do on the show. We update that. What's up, Devin? It's kind of quiet now, but man, that was some bad sleep. I don't know about you guys, know a little bit of my history, but them bangs, man, while you're sleeping is just not it, bro. So you wake up startled a few times, but I was able to get to a piece where I was like, all right, it's just that. But then you start having some weird dreams. I had my dog and my cat are on me, so they're kind of just as freaked out. Luckily, my dog's not like a barker, because you can only imagine you got a barking dog and 5 hours of tapping on the walls. But I did look out my door. At one point, there was like 2 trailers in my yard, like inches from my Jeep, a tractor in the street. Like they went ham. Some odd odds for JRM and Julian. JRM is at 549, 385. Julian is at 655. You probably get a decent deal on Julian. I don't know. JRM feels like a name value guy that you're never gonna get. JRM's at 425, so it's not too far. Julian is at 850, so the model's saying you're getting a little value there. Like 200. But apparently that game's got some weather. Or no, it's not that game. It's not that game. Some crazy shadows last game Gore pitched against. Yeah. That's what we were talking about, Phil, when that game happened. Is the Phillies were talking about the daytime shadows were hard to see, and then we saw them kind of get diced up by other lefties. I don't know, man. The K rate's kind of been there. Maybe not 13, sure, but I don't know. It might be real. Let's go to team stats. Phillies 25% K rate against lefties this year. But yes, we were all on board the stack against Gore train on opening day, and then actually though Paul Heyman's yelling Gore, Gore, Gore. All right, let's get into the main slate. But 2 weather games on the early. Would pretty much watch that game. Luckily, all those weather games aren't touching like the high ceiling pitchers, but I don't know. There's enough meat on the main slate. I wouldn't over sweat it. First game on the main slate. Let's talk about Royals and the Rays. Orioles got a 3.9 run total. Rays sitting on a 4.8. Michael Lorenzen taking on Taj Bradley. We are headed back into the Steinbrenner Field at Single A ballpark that has been so very nice to offense. And one of the things that they did with the schedule was they booked the Rays to play a ton of early home games, like early in the year versus later on. But even now, in just, we're knocking on the door of May. It's 80 degrees up there. You're going to always deal with 50+% humidity being where it's at. So it's always going to be a super plus hitter environment, especially when we still a couple of summer games there. So opens up both offenses. Michael Lorenzen has been a contact pitcher for years. Sub 20% K rate this season. The 145 whip, not helping that he's walking hitters at almost a 10% clip, allowing a lot of power to righties. So Mr. Yandy Diaz, Junior Caminero, and Chris Morel could all activate against a neutralized K rate and juiced up power rate allowed. We're gonna give it a little bit of I'm gonna give it half a point of a weather boost. And then looking at the matchup here, Taj Bradley, 22.5% K rate for him. He's down 4% from last year, and he's facing a scrappy Royals team that really doesn't strike out much. The Royals bullpen ERA is actually pretty solid. I don't know why that's showing up red. Let's see if we can get into that real quick. Oh, because of one. Let's do it like this. That's a little bit better. I don't know. ERA is such a bad stat, especially for a bullpen, but felt like it shouldn't have been red, but maybe it should. Whatever. Let's fix it a little bit. Let's go 1.8 green and then 4 red. It's a little better. A little better. Here, what up, Tall? Hope you're doing all right. How do we split this one up? Well, I think we're gonna go interest in the Rays. Then Bradley or the Royals. Well, the Royals are just such a low-K team in a high-stress environment, where you can kind of extrapolate Charles Bradley's weaknesses. So Bradley has allowed a lot of power to both sides of the plate for the last season, especially against righties. 3 years running now, a lot of homers allowed to righties. So Bobby Witt, Salvi, good spots for them to go Yabo, and it's a kind of a good scrappy team. So I'm gonna go Royals too, and I'm probably gonna stay away from Bradley. I'm not getting to Lorenzen, but Bradley's at least intriguing, I guess, maybe on name value more than anything. But right now I'm gonna stay away from it and just go offense here. But we do got to put in a pitcher projection. So for Lorenzen, let's go 19% K rate with a 9% walk rate. And then for Bradley, let's go. I'm gonna give him a 23% K rate with a 10% walk rate. Let's check out the outs. Phil, were you the one in chat yesterday recommending a Google extension, or was that somebody else? Somebody was in chat yesterday. There it is. 17.5 for Bradley, 16.5 for Lorenzen. 17.5 is okay. That was me. Dude, I downloaded it, but I don't know how to use it. The odds API. I think was that the right one? Let's see. Oh, here it is. MLB filter by team. I don't know. Let's go Yankees. Get betting lines. Do you get props though? I don't really need run lines. Everybody's been fun with the hot weather. Yeah, I mean, you think about the whole reason they play there in the spring is because everywhere else is cold. So they get some spring training in. That's not it? Oh, okay. Well, so I gotta figure it out. The odds API. Let's see. The odds API. What happens when I search it? Can I link it in chat? If it'll let you. Does it gotta be dashes? Because this comes out and it mentions the odds API, so that's why I downloaded it. I'm still on the fence about buying a sub with that company for the spreadsheet, but I don't know. I don't understand what credits means. Credits from one of the unlucky hitters this year as well was like 150 points below his Expo. Let's Salvi in the bond protector. Witt's at a 445. Salvi is at a 454. God dang, Salvi's number one at 330, Witt at 390. Even Chris Morel, he's kind of up there. Yeah, everything's kind of priced appropriately. India is a leadoff guy likely at plus 600 there. What do we got him at? Got him at 493, so it's a little bit of value, but not enough to get excited about. Oh, it's a Google Sheets add-on. Oh, I thought you meant Google Chrome add-on. Oh, so yeah, I was messing with the Google Sheets add-on, kind of. I don't think that link worked, but it's all right. I just misunderstood what you were saying then. We finished those projections. We did. We'll leave it at that. Get the Red Sox and Blue Jays lineup or game. It will change your life. So that's the one where, if I'm not mistaken, like me and Jake were. You can still see it in the Discord. It was over the weekend. Like I tried it before the season, and then the other day, me and Jake were trying to make it a smoother process in the spreadsheet. But it was like you get 500 credits for free, and then you get X amount of credits. And I didn't know what credits meant. Like, this credit means every time it repopulates like live data, does that burn 1 credit? So if it updates 5 times an hour, is it 5 credits an hour? Because then it feels like 500 credits for a month. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what credits are. And that's what was the hiccup for me on kind of committing to it. What's up, Travis? Yeah, no, I can definitely figure it out. Like, I had it all but set and ready to launch, but the credits was confusing me. So I know exactly what you're talking about. 4.1 run total for the Red Sox, 3.6 for the Blue Jays. Garrett Crochet on the bump for the Red Sox, taking on Bowden Francis. Super tough spot. You pull the entire slate, it would be 15 credits. Okay, but does it auto update, or do you have to refresh it manually, which is fine? But like, if it was auto refreshing itself and then spending the credits while I'm asleep, or you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was worried about, being it like an auto refresh. And for player props, I definitely want, I want it for that. But yeah, that was the only thing keeping me away from it, was the uncertainty on what the heck credits meant. Crochet is a top pitcher in baseball. He's going against a very hard to strike out Blue Jays team. This Blue Jays projected lineup against lefties, a 16.6% aggregate K rate, and it's basically 3 guys, Alejandro Kirk, George Springer, and Anthony Santander, and 2 of those guys are kind of a menacing bats to get around anyway. With that said, it's not a ton of high WRC plus, it's not a ton of high batting averages, but if you're paying 10.5K for a pitcher, you do kind of want to get as much ceiling as possible by way of strikeout. Now, Crochet, like some of these other pitchers, once you step into the 30% K rate area, you're kind of elite. And once you sustain something like that for over a season, and he's done that since the beginning of last season, you're borderline matchup proof in terms of being played. And we've seen him in a previous game this season against Toronto, where he got just 5 strikeouts and 15 fantasy points, but only gave up 1 earney and was an out away from a quality start. So I'm kind of on the fence about what we do with him here, and it would probably be something for DFS where we do the opposite of what the field is doing, and I don't really know what they're doing yet, because I like to research the slate before I look at the answers to the test. But for the most part, I think you could play him. It comes with some risk, but the risk isn't necessarily the implosion to me. It's the risk of him at 10.5K just not being a stone nut on the slate. When you got Peralta against the White Sox, Pivetta against the Giants is interesting. We did talk about Erod to an extent. Jacob deGrom's looking good. Now it's the same start in back-to-back matchups, but there's a couple other names in maybe better spots that could give you similar upside with a higher floor And I think that's what we're worried about with Crochet. So he's certainly in the blender, but what do we do with him? I think he might end up being number 2, and number 1 might be the Red Sox offense. Bowden Francis, a sub 20% K rate this season, hasn't allowed homers as much to righties as he has in the last couple seasons, has certainly allowed power to lefties this season. High hard contact rate, elevated walk rate, and a suppressed strikeout rate. And throughout his last 3 years at the big league level, he has not been striking out lefties as much as righties anyway. So even though his overall K percentage has dropped, it's really his righty K percentage has diminished from the last 2 years. And we know the Red Sox, some of their better hitters are going to be the Durans, Devers, and Abreu's. And then, hey, their righties can go too. And a guy like Bregman's not a big strikeout guy anyway. There is a lane here that does offer a lot of strikeouts. Story, Abreu, Campbell, Casas, and Narvaez. If Narvaez is, a name that cracks the actual lineup. But I don't know. I think I'm leaning more Red Sox here. So I'm gonna go Red Sox, Garrett, Crochet. I don't think Francis is off limits on DK. I'm gonna wait till I put his name in. But at 7,300 on DK, if you think it's just a one pitcher night that can get you 30, and then you're spinning the wheel, making a deal on SP2, Francis isn't an insane click, but it's not going to project well due to the Red Sox's talent, especially in the spreadsheet where you have so much ISO, so much high average, and so much WRC plus. So let's put in some projections for these two pitchers. We're gonna go 31% for Crochet. Francis, we're gonna go 20% K rate. Walk rate for Crochet, gonna go 8.5. Francis, we're gonna go 8. Get some outs. Varsho's back. Oh, dude, I forgot about Dalton Varsho. I've been waiting for Ketel Marte. I completely forgot about Varsho. Or are we talking about the Blue Jays? We're talking about the Blue Jays. I'm dumb. I'm stuck in a time machine, dude. That was like such a brain fart where I'm thinking, because the D-backs lineup had just came out in my second screen, and then you said Varsho is back, and my brain just cross wires. That's interesting, but yeah, it doesn't help things, huh? What am I looking for? 18 and a half, 18 and 17 and a half. So Crochet, 18, 17 and a half. I'm gonna give Crochet 2 towards the QS. You have to do auto, you can just pull it manually. I like that, Phil. I'm gonna have to check that out. And they have it for player props, right? It certainly would change a lot, especially for that bomb detector sheet. That'll help us find value a lot faster. All right, let's do that. Phillies lineup came out. We're gonna keep going forward before we go backwards. We're gonna go D-backs and the Mets. D-backs lineup came out. Doesn't have Dalton Varsho. Perdomo, Corbin Carroll, Randall Grichuk, Gurriel, Eugenio Suarez batting 5th. Gabriel Moreno, Haven Smith batting 7th. Guess you gotta get different against the lefty. Jorge Barrosa. D-backs implied run total is 4. Mets 4.7. Erod has been striking out people at what feels like an unsustainable clip for a 10% swing and strike rate and a 16% called strike rate. I feel like I'm about to have the Will Warren rant. He can't keep getting away with this. I think he's probably a 1 in 5 K rate guy. Maybe a 1 in 4.5. But 27%, I don't know about that one, Chief. That I don't know about. 14% is his league high or season high in swing and strike rate. He's got a 55% first pitch strike. But it doesn't make sense. 55% first pitch strike with a 10% swing and strike rate, but yet he's got a 27% carry rate. Make it make sense. So I'm going to continue to call for regression on that K rate. Dude, his XFIP is frustrating too. Negative XFIP, 4 XFIP, 1.5. Like, god dang it, all over the road. Facing a Mets team that should make an honest man out of him. The WRC pluses since the beginning of last year against lefties are super plus, except when you get to Tyrone Taylor. But 1 through 8 in the projected are crazy. And they have just a 20% aggregate K rate with a 10% walk rate. And to Erod's credit, not walking hitters, but is allowing homers, particularly to righties. So Pete Alonso should project well. Mark Vientos should project well. Take a look at the bomb detector there and see how high or how far we got to scroll before we get to Alonso or Vientos. Matter of fact, let's just type in Mets and cheat. A 16% probability on Alonso, Lindor, and Vientos at 15. So you're probably never going to get plus 520 for Pete Alonso. So don't know about that one. Phone is going crazy. All right. So let's rank it out. I'm going to go Mets. Behind Erod is a beatable D-backs bullpen. And David Peterson, heavy split guy, right? 30+% K rate last 3 years, maybe 30% K rate last 3 years against lefties. Righties, it certainly comes way back down. And this is a D-backs lineup that only features 2 lefties, and they're 2 decent ones. Corbin Carroll, good at getting on base, good at stealing bases, good at stretching extra bases. And Pavin Smith, an 18% walk rate to lefties is kind of crazy. So I'm going to go D-backs too before we get to pitchers. I do think you can put both pitchers in the blender. I'm way more intrigued, ironically, with Erod than Peterson. I'm just going to put the offenses here for now. And we'll let the projections roll. The fillers. Let's go Erod. Yeah, I'm gonna give Erod a 25%, and I still don't even believe that, but I'm taxing him 2%. So if you guys have an MLB grind sub and you're like, doesn't add up to mine, well, it's because I don't believe that he's a 27% carry guy. That just, it doesn't, the math doesn't math when you put it all together. It seems a little lucky for me, in my opinion. Who am I? Let's give Peterson a 23.5%, but he has such extreme splits that I'm willing to tax him on that too. We got just 2 lefties. So we look at his righty K rates since the beginning of last year, 18. I'll give him 2 lefties. I'll go 20 instead of 23. So we're definitely putting a lot more manual input on the K percentages in this game. But it's my projections. We'll go 5% on Erod's walk rate, and Peterson will go 5% as well. What are we thinking on outs? Did all that just to have the same screen. Yeah. 17.5, 16.5. D-backs have a super low ISO this year. Satellite lefties only walking 5%. Yeah, kind of like the Blue Jays, right? Like, you don't think they're gonna smack them around based on that lineup, but the strikeouts just ain't there, and that's what we're hunting. So give me the offenses here. By the way, the weather in Citi Field, I don't know if Mr. Roth mentioned it. Sure he did. Rain should hold north. Winds are ripping out to left at 20. I'm looking at 12. I'll take his word over this screen. But that'll be a boost for really anyone. But really, righty power. So we dip into Peterson against righties, and especially Erod against righties. Alonso, I'm gonna give them, man, I'm gonna give them a 1 weather boost just to help the projections a little bit. So we had them at what, 15-16%. So after a weather boost, it pushes them to 17% and makes them much higher in the bomb detector off of that one, which I don't think that's an aggressive push. I could bring it down to half a point, but I don't know. I guess I got to set some parameters on how much 10 miles an hour is worth. I'll go 0.75 weather boost, and that'll close the book on that game. Let's get moving on to the next game. Go Brewers and the White Sox. Brewers have a 5.1 run total. White Sox 3.2. Freddie Peralta spinning the seams against Tyler Gilbert. Now, is Gilbert an opener like last time? Yeah. One inning. Who do we know is coming behind him? Bryce Wilson. Let's probably put Bryce Wilson. I believe it was a righty. Wasn't he on the Braves? Pretty sure he's a righty. He was on the Braves in 2020. He was on Milwaukee most recently. Righty. So I'm gonna put Bryce Wilson in the projected, since he's the bulk guy. We're only gonna get an inning out of the starter. Freddie Peralta is good. 26.5% K rate on the season. He is facing one of our favorite matchups on the year, 23.5% aggregate K rate in the projected lineup. They have added Palacios, Benintendi, and Viva Cuero to kind of bring down these overall K rates a little bit. And it might screw you on a first inning K prop, maybe in the first two, but he should pick him up in the bottom half. And he's also one of those guys who can just muscle his way to some strikeouts against matchups he maybe normally wouldn't, especially tapping into his righty split. So I'm going to give him a 27% K rate. Almost any number we write is going to just boost his K anyway. For Wilson, we're going to go 15%. Walk rate here for Peralta, we're going to go 7.5. And for Mr. Wilson, we'll go, so he walks lefties at a good clip, but it's half and half, right? So we're gonna go 9. And then Peralta, I'm sure, is gonna be at 17.5. Wilson, who knows, 12.5, 13.5. So 17.5 for him. I'm gonna go 17.8 with I'm gonna give him 3 towards a QS. It'd be pretty implied for a win. That'll help boost that. For Bryce Wilson, I'm gonna give him 13.5 on the outs. Marte's hitting cleanup. Ooh. Yeah, I like the Mets. Maybe people give the Mets a little too much cred. YouTube told me now would be a good time to insert ads. Creators earn even more money inserting ads. The more viewers are watching, give it a try. Tad, I'm not gonna do y'all like that. Just know YouTube wanted me to. This guy's definitely gonna hit a home run. Click. Skip ad. Brewers, Freddie Peralta, top of the interest ranking here. And then we're just betting on talent with the Brewers against not talent. And there's a lot to like there. It is a park that's not great when there's not wind. overall offensive factor. It's 2 below league average, but also that isn't, you know, it's not like an expected stat. That's a result stat. And the White Sox have been the worst team ever. So naturally it's gonna see a lot less offense. So, you know, I'm not too scared of that. So yeah, give me some Brewers. The Brewers are, I think we talked about, they're second in stolen bases, so they'll kind of paper cut you in multiple different ways to get to some value. And then Bryce Wilson, so much homers allowed, both sides of the plate. Go on, get you some. That's it. Peralta, Brewers. I'm not touching the other side. Not even if there's a fire. All right, Rangers. Rangers and the Athletics. Dude, I'm kind of like sick of this series, bro. I feel like I've been talking about these two teams going at it for like a week. 4.8 run total for the Rangers, 3.4 for the Athletics. Joey Estes taking on Jacob DeGrom. DeGrom, normally good. 24% K rate this season. Last start was against the Athletics, 5.1 innings pitched, 6 Ks, no walks. That's a good sign. Did allow 6 hits. So we're seeing a all over the place version of DeGrom, but we can also give a little bit of benefit of the doubt to the, I don't say benefit of the doubt, but the park is rough up there in Sacramento. Some good is good. 6 strikeouts in 5.1 innings, 10 ground balls. That's what you want. But we talked about ground balls lead to hits more than fly balls do typically. And now that we can, I assume they're going to close the roof in Globe Life. Looks like it should rain up there, so we can kind of neutralize the environment a little bit. We're still not sure what to expect pitch counts, but he did get up to 96 in a great showcase against the Dodgers. So I think with DeGrom, you just kind of have to give a little bit more doubt to the name that you loved to click years back. But at sub 9K, he still has that 30 fantasy point potential. But this Athletics team has been pretty doggone solid this season. So it's a little bit of give and take. I'm going to lean the DeGrom side. And then this Rangers offense has been pretty putrid. Although, you know, we're getting like a different lineup every day. But without Corey Seager, there's no hope. Wyatt Langford is just like the guy. And then all these other guys are just rough to get behind. So that doesn't bode well for implying the win to DeGrom, who bleeds red a little bit more this season than not. But it does it does make you feel a little bit better that he's up against Joey Estes, who really sucks. A 3 whip this season in 7 innings, 12% K rate. You go back to a much larger and broader sample size last season. Wait, Jacob Lopez? What I got Estes? Good luck with Texas. Yeah, right. Where did I get Estes from? I guess that was there this morning. Yeah. Jacob Lopez. This changes a little bit. Or is this just going to be an opener and Estes is the long reliever? In which case I would put Estes back. Oh, you got... I know what's going on here with the Athletics. It looks like he's been stretched out or getting stretched out as a starter in AAA before being recalled Saturday. He covered 5 innings in both of his meets. Okay, so let's go look at his longer body of work, because sometimes your 1 inning at a time will look better, sometimes worse. Oh, but he got stretched out and then they stopped using him deep. There's really no telling what we're gonna get out of him unless there's an interview blurb or a quote or something. I guess no matter what, I'm probably not gonna pitch whoever it is. So if you get to the Rangers, you're betting on talent, and it's not a lot of talent anyways. So we'll go with Jacob DeGrom. And I think the Athletics are okay enough, and DeGrom's name value is good enough that people are gonna shy away. But if something goes wrong with DeGrom, knock on wood, yeah, there's some talent in Butler, Rooker, Shangelier, Soderstrom, Nick Kurtz. Still enough talent that you could probably get over the field at less than 5%. And that's what I would do there. Got it. Lopez, even though the age, no S. Yeah. So I don't know that we can. I don't know. Like, I get they were stretching him out, but then you stopped using him. So for the past 3 weeks, you know, this guy that was maybe throwing 70 pitches maxed out at 40. So like, in my load management mind, I would be like surprised that, by the way, 41 pitches in 1.2 innings. What are we doing? Guess that's not super egregious. You can get 15 in an inning, 30. They went like 11 over. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not pitching them. I don't really know what to project them, but I guess, does Vegas tell me? Vegas gives me a 12.5 outs with the juice on the under. So Vegas is 4 innings, 3 innings. And DeGrom is 17.5. So let's just let the numbers do the talking. Did I say 14.5? 12.5. What's up, Josh? Happy birthday, dude. How old are you, dude? Midlife crisis, ready to go? Well, let's face it, we're starting baseball at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. We're all like 30 to 40 to 50, right? There's no youngsters in here, right? We can all listen to Al Green. At the oldie station, it's freaking Lincoln Park now. What are we doing? I'm gonna give him a 22% carry. DeGrom, we're gonna give him a 24. 3 innings, yeah. Lopez, I'm gonna give him a 10%. 30 gang, yeah. Yeah, we're all old. These youngsters are running basketball. Yeah, too fast. Too fast. Slow it down. Just embrace it, though. Just embrace it. I'm gonna give DeGrom 2 towards the QS. I don't know about y'all. Grease, that's your boy. I just don't have the confidence in projecting Jacob DeGrom anymore. I mean, this is a crazy range of outcomes. But sub 9K, I get it. If you'd have told me in like March, I'd be like, yeah, this season we get a fully stretched out 90 to 100 pitch DeGrom, sub 9K against the Athletics with the roof closed on April 29th. I'm like, oh, dude, all of my bankroll on that guy. But man, I don't know, man. I'm not comfortable. What up, Rob? The NBA DFS, dude. I wish, you know, some of you people with a time machine, you could be more noble. You go back, prevent global pandemics and wars and stuff. Me, I take a time machine. I go back to the heyday of NBA DFS, where it was literally impossible to be a losing player if you knew what you're doing. I'd have spent so much more money, bro. I just had such a like, this can't be real mindset. I'm just super lucky. No, man. It was good times. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Tigers and the Astros. Why did I just green light that? It's not confirmed. Reese Olson taking on Ryan Gusto. No me gusto. Astros with a 3.9 run total. Tigers 3.7. Got some low run totals for 2 no-namers, yeah. 22% K rate for Olson, 12% swing and strike rate, a 4 expected ERA. To his credit, great ground ball rate to righties, and keeping the lefties at bay. Hasn't allowed over one homer per nine, really to both sides of the plate since 2023. So good on him. And elevated K rate to lefties. There's only going to be one lefty likely in the Astros lineup, so he can lean on his righty splits a little bit more. And so far, not that great. 19.8% K rate last year, 16.1% K rate this year against right-handed hitters. And it's not a high strikeout version of this Astros lineup, at least in the projected anyway. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And inversely, Gusto, it's been solid. 25% K rate for him. Not walking hitters. Does allow some power to the lefties. A lot of power, 2.25 so far. 4+ xFIP. Harry Carpenter, Zach McKinstry, Riley Green. He wants you in the worst way. I think we're gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Tigers lefty substack. Then I'm gonna go Ryan Gusto. I don't know that I'm running to a full spread of Astros offense. So does that mean I get a piece of Olsen? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's what we'll do there. Olsen, let's give him a 22% K rate. Right? Or no? Maybe we give him a 19% K rate. Because there's only one lefty, and that's where he's getting his strikeouts, and you're not going to strike out Alvarez much anyway. I think we take that down. I think we go 19, and that maybe being generous. Gusto, a 25. He's also a little intense on the righties. I think 25 is right for the mix on the opposite lineup. Walk rate. 12. We can lean on the righty walk rate a bit. And Jordan walks anyway. I might just leave that at 12, dude. Gusto. I'm at 4.5. Check out the outs. 17.5 for Olsen. Dude, am I sleeping on Reese Olsen? 15.5 for Gusto. Reese Olsen. Don't bet against the Tigers. Yeah, Tigers are definitely better than the public perception. And I have to like retrain myself daily on that. 39% whiff rate on the slider, 50% on the changeup. What up, Cubs fan? Harry has DeGrom highest on the board tonight. I feel like right now I got Peralta highest, but I mean, I'm not gonna argue against DeGrom ever being at the top of a board. I would assume he has at least Peralta 2 in the conversation. Yeah, maybe I owe Olsen a little bit more respect, but he's got like stat killer stats, not necessarily like strikeout crazy stats against a team full of righties, which is not his strikeout side. Like him having reverse splits usually means he's got a gangster slider, right? Yeah, slider's at a 39% K rate, and he's throwing that to lefties quite a bit. Same with the changeup. So that breaking stuff against lefties has been really, really strong. And against righties, sometimes I guess it's easier to see for righties, and he draws more walks. So, but that is inning eating stats though, and that's not a bad thing, right? 5 Ks against KC. It's gonna be a day where we get a team full of lefties. I'm gonna be able to beat up on that. Hopefully, like 12-15 gets an extra bat into yeah. Yeah, for me, I think the difference between DeGrom being at the top for me would be just the out projection and confidence. And one, I'm not confident in his offense, even though the run line is. Two, I really don't know what version or how many outs we get. I'm way more confident in Freddie Peralta and his offense. But it's Jacob DeGrom. Certainly, that's not a pitcher I'm gonna push back on. Yeah, he's got better lefty splits for sure. Okay, well, that's how we grade that one out. Let's keep it moving. Braves and Rockies. We are getting a lot of lineups rolling out, so we'll be able to go update some. We do have a confirmed Rockies lineup. Brenton Doyle, dude. Did the Rockies out? I felt like the Rockies were kind of notorious for being late years back. Alia, Mickey Moniak. Now it's just some drunk guy in the back of the room. Yeah, these guys. Yeah. He's turned into Sling Blade. I like the way you pitch. You can go today. That's stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. Herman Marquez going up against AJ Smith-Shawver. The Braves have a 6.6 run total. What are we doing? And a 4.7 run total for the Rockies. I mean, you want to pitch against the Rockies? I'm not going to talk you off of it. I've certainly pitched against the Rockies in cores a few times with the right people. I don't know that AJ Smith-Shawver is the right people for me today. 7,500. So I'm not, but we're definitely gonna put the Braves at the top of the interest ranking for the game, and then maybe some Rockies, man. Herman Marquez, yeah, not playing you. 14% K rate so far, 2+ whip. The lefty power and lefty walk rate pretty elevated. Matt Olson, Alex Verdugo might be able to take advantage of that. The hasn't allowed a righty to homer yet. 45% hard contact. Ground ball rate's kind of good. Line drive rate's kind of high though, so that might be a little bit of luck. Just out of curiosity with Herman. How many games have been in cores? 1. So we go pull Herman Marquez. This is weird. We're our numbers for a Coors pitcher or a Rockies pitcher is actually almost all road numbers. So I'm gonna go see if all of his games were in Coors. Would he have given up homers? Particularly to righties, right? He's given up 2 homers this season. If all of his games were in Coors, 2 homers, so not much changes. It doesn't change anywhere but Houston, so that's probably the Crawford boxes. All right. No matter what, though, we're playing Braves, some Rockies. I get it if you want to take a shot on AJ Smith, but the 6.84 expected ERA, 2 whip. It's a small sample. Don't have much to go off from last year. I'm just going to let the ballpark win out on that one. Let's put a projection for these pitchers. His K rate is heavily influenced by his 35% K rate to lefties so far, and that feels like a very small sample. Feels like it's not going to be a ton of lefties. I'm gonna give him a 22. And then Herman, I'm gonna give him a 15 walk rate. Oh, is this the Chinese restaurant music, Bojan? Let's go. Let's go 13% on the walk rate for Marquez. Let's go. I mean, he's walking too. Let's go 11. What do we got on outs? 14 and a half, 14 and a half. IK rate versus righty. Yeah, Phil. We've definitely been playing a lot of who's that against the Rockies. Most of that is on the road. I want to say most of that is a different version of this lineup before Jordan Beck, before Mickey Moniak, when they had Chris Bryant. Now this lineup isn't much better, don't get me wrong, but at least we've seen some adjustments. But yeah, this lineup absolutely sucks, but I still want to play a good pitcher when I take the Coors risk. But I wouldn't fault you. I guess AJ, we look at the pitch report. What's he throw? If it's like a lot of breaking balls, I don't want to risk it. Fastball, slider, curveball, splitter, or sinker. Is this sinker or splitter? Yeah. Like, I'll take fastballs a little bit more than the breaking ball, just because the altitude, especially for like guys whose metrics aren't that great anyway. It's a splitter. Splitter's his whiff pitch. And he didn't have it last season. How many innings did he go last season? 'Cause I have like nothing in the spreadsheet for him. Like, that's not. I only went 4.1. Okay. All right. That's how we rank that one out. Give me the offenses. I completely understand if you want to play Shawver just because it's the Rockies. I think I'm gonna stay away from that personally, but I get it. I get it. Glad you said that. I think I'm eating Chinese food today. Today's a no food day for me. We are on protein shakes and juices and gallons of water. But after my wrestling event on Sunday, I did cave in for a patty melt. Gotta be truthful, you know? I earned that one though. But we'll probably do something like where we do a week of the liquid diet, and then once a week get some meat. Giants and Padres, maybe twice a week, we'll see. Giants and the Padres, Logan Webb versus Nick Pivetta. More good pitchers here that make me less inclined to punt Coors pitchers, you know. Logan Webb, really good, 30% K rate this season, 11.3% swing and strike rate, 20% called strike, a 5% barrel rate. All that's really, really good. He's not facing a particularly high strikeout team in the Padres, but his heavy ground ball rate could help him eat innings. So even if he's not getting strikeouts, it could push him more towards 7, even 8 innings if the Padres can't break him. And that would be great for Fanduel. 6, 6, 5, 7. So we've seen a couple 7s out of him. We're seeing 100+ pitches. So I just think that's a lot of bullets in the tank for a 30% K rate guy. That you have to play him, even though it's not like we love the matchup, but I'm playing him. And then Pivetta, almost the same, except he's a little bit more gettable in his batted ball data. But the Giants don't strike as much fear to me, and they certainly give us a little bit more hope for strikeouts. This projected lineup, 22.3% aggregate K rate. So I do think both pitchers are certainly in play. I get it on No Warm and Fuzzies. 3.5 run total for the Giants, by the way, 3.2 for the Padres. So gotta be the lowest run total on the slate, the lowest game total. So it definitely opens up both pitchers. Let's give Webb his K props. I'm gonna put him at, I'll give him that 30. And then Nick Pivetta, will give him a 27.5. Walk rate here for the Giants, or excuse me, for Logan Webb, 6.5. Nick Pivetta, 6.5. And then outs, they're probably both 17.5 easily, right? 18.5 on Logan, juice on the under, 17.5. So I might just give them both 18 flat. And I'll give them both a pair of quality starts. Could you stack pitchers in that game and try to throw a blanket over the win and hope it's not like a scoreless tie or whatever, but maybe you get dueling quality starts? Maybe. Lost 50 pounds, bro. It's not even like a weight loss thing, although, you know, I got plenty of weight to lose. Just, man, I start eating junk, like I just feel bad. Like I don't have the energy. And when I'm juiced up on these juices and whatever, so we started it with like a 4 or 5 day water fast where it's just water, and then added in the juice. This organic grocery store, dude, like they're starting to know me by name. I just want to feel better all the time, and I certainly have been. Like I want to wake up, like you know what I mean. Like you hit that snooze button a bunch. Like I'm up like the Undertaker. Let's go. That's all it was, man. I wanted to just feel less groggy all the time, and that has definitely done the trick so far. But yeah, we do need energy as well. We got all these dogs and wrestling and all that stuff. We got 2 games left on the docket. Go Angels and Mariners. Angels with a 3.2 run total. But usually I rarely get to where I eat a lot of junk. But the 2 months prior to this, I just did. I've just been so busy doing everything that I haven't prioritized like eating healthy, cooking healthy, and you just go convenience. And it's way more convenient to eat unhealthy, which is a problem. But now I found this store and I'm just like, dude, that's $15 gives me 4, you know, two protein shakes, 2 juices versus whatever my order would have been wherever. Like I'll just do that. So shout out to Natural Grocers, man. Doing it big. Jack Kuchenowicz taking on Bryce Miller. Angels with a 3.2 run total, so that rivals the Padres and Giants game in terms of anemic offensive output. And Miller, a 23% K rate this season, does have an elevated whip. A lot of it's this lefty walk rate, and luckily for him, likely doesn't face a lot of lefties in his Angels lineup. And if he does, one of them is a switchy named Luis Rengifo, who has just a 5% walk rate. So he's kind of got to get through Shanuel, and it might be okay. So I do think we enter the Bryce is right. We get to Bryce Miller pretty quickly. What kind of pitch count we working with? That's Bobby Miller. We don't want that Miller. 100 pitches in 2 of his last 3 games. That's a good sign. Hasn't got through 5. Strength of schedule here: Athletics, rough, at San Fran, Texas, at Cincy, Great American Ballpark, and Fenway. Kind of a bumpy road. A lot of walks. A lot of these teams do have their lefties, so if this Angels lineup doesn't come out super lefty heavy here, could be a get right spot for Bryce. And then inversely, Jack Kuchenowicz, 11% K rate for him. Not what you want. Elevated whip, also not what you want, and it should not be green. I feel like I change this every day. There we go. I actually think we go Mariners here, and as Necreasy pointed out on yesterday's stream, a lot of people would be surprised, I certainly was, that the Seattle Mariners right now are top 5 in offensive WAR. They're 3rd in homers. They're 3rd in stolen bases. They're just there. Like, I don't think a lot of people are thinking the Mariners as a offensive juggernaut, and they've been kind of doing it. So their number one bugaboo, their Achilles heel, it's Achilles, I know, is strikeouts, 25% aggregate K rate. And if you're going to neutralize this column right here with an 11% K rate that was a 9% last year, you're going to amplify the walks, the WRC pluses, and most importantly, the power. So this is a good spot for the Mariners. And I probably will be a little, I think I like them a lot with all that going for them. Because behind Kuchenowicz is not a great bullpen, 1.54 whip, 126 on the home run per 9. We look at the bullpen usage chart here for the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I guess they hit the reset button yesterday, so everyone would be available. It would depend on if they beat up the starter. Do we get some Reed Detmers? That would be great. I would love that. And Detmers usually pitches every 3 days, so it could be a Detmers day. And you guys know Reed Detmers is a kind of a contact lefty. He was back in the day. I don't know what these numbers are saying. Reed Detmers. But we also see that from bullpen guys. Their numbers go up out of the pen. Put that up. This season, a 233 to righties, 1 homer, 14 Ks. He's getting his Ks, so I guess when he's not a starter, doing his thing. But give me the Mariners, Bryce Miller. Let's put out the projections for these pitchers. Kachanowicz, let's give him a 11.5%. A rate, walk rate, let's go 6.5. Bryce Miller, give him 23. By the way, we go to that offensive output chart. I feel like the Angels have backslid to like the bottom. Oh wait, that's not a team. No, they're actually top 4 in homers. They're bottom 5 in WAR. Bottom 3 in stolen bases, so they're not really manufacturing. Homer or nothing. Bryce Miller, walk rate. I'm gonna bring that down with 9. And if the lineup comes out surprisingly with some lefties, we can go fix it. Give him an 18 outs. I'll give Jack 15.5. I'm gonna give him his 2 points. Doing your app. Yeah, the McDonald's app was getting me too, bro. But that's not, you know, it's not healthy eating McDonald's every day. Oh, yeah, Josh, fasting is not for the weak, man. But it's okay to try it and fail, especially water fast. Holy. But the liquid diet is much easier with protein shakes because you get like 40 grams of protein at my size. Acts a little bit as a hunger suppressant. You don't really have to deal with those hunger pains like the olden days. I put the QS on the wrong guy. All right, 1 game left on the docket. Take a pause for the cause. Remind you guys, you can get access to this spreadsheet every day over there at MLBgrind.com. Good way to support the stream. Get these daily streams. We've been pumping them out. I've only missed 1 slate this season so far, and it was a random all-day Thursday nonsensical 4 or 5 gamer. It might have been opposite the March Madness Championship, something like that. So, you know, my commitment was to grind, and I'm grinding. If you guys want to show some love and get the spreadsheet in return, help you out in a pinch, go to MLBgrind.com, click premium memberships, week pass, month pass, and the season pass, all available. And then you'll also get into the MLB Grind Discord. And by the way, the Discord, not just chat. There's not as much chatty Cathy's. It's just usually me, Jake, and Rich. But you get the automated home run alerts, the barrel alerts, so you can feel salty when you get your homer robbed, your stolen bases, and your confirmed lineups all in one spot. So convenient place to be shooting a breeze. So ideally, you know, getting a couple gamers in there, chatting it up while we get lineups coming is the goal, right? And I'm thinking maybe you gotta give me some time to work out the kinks. Maybe since yesterday we unlocked the monetization, maybe we can do something where, because most of you guys have subs at all these sites anyway, you don't need mine, and it doesn't make sense. Maybe we can do something where if you get a channel membership on YouTube, we can open up a Discord channel, or we can let those people in there. I don't know. I would have to see if I could work that out, make a sense, you know? So yeah. Deluxe breakfast with sausage egg is around $5. Yeah. What up, Cage? Had my best results with keto, carnivore. 200 pounds a few years back. God dang, bro. I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing, right? Fasting for a few days and a meat. Taco Bell $1 too. God dang, bro. We got a lot of McDonald's app, Carl's Jr. app, Taco Bell app. Taco Bell $1 Tuesday drop today. What the heck? See, y'all getting me out of there. Yeah, Trout's always the danger, right? Marlins and the Dodgers, your main event. Marlins with a 3.6 run total. Dodgers 5.1. Sandy taking on Matt Sauer. Sandy has not been great this season. I was hopeful after his first start, but of course I was always worried coming off an injury. Now we do see some redeeming qualities, like the ground ball rates there for him, so you like that. You want to see less walks, you want to see a little bit more strikeout stuff. Now, like I said, the elite version of Sandy was never really a 30% K rate guy. It was go get 7 innings of Greg Maddux baseball and get some strikeouts where you get them. But he's even though he has a high ground ball rate, he's still giving up homers and struggling to find it. And I don't know that I want to put pesos on him to find it against a team like the Dodgers and their 5-point run total. So I'm gonna get into some Dodgers interest as number 1 on the interest ranking. And then I don't know anything about the Sauer guy, but I imagine it's a result of them being so hurt for pitching right now that it's probably not a top prospect. But we'll see. Really good ERA, 1.84 ERA, 14.2 innings, 14 Ks in those 14.2 innings, so just under a strikeout per inning, 11 hits, 1 walk, good whip. That's in a PCL too, so kind of earned that. 3 innings, 5 innings, no homers. Looks like good ground ball stuff too. A 1.13 ground out to air out ratio. So, ain't no punk. I don't know that, you know, we barely bank on the Dodger starters to have high pitch counts. I guess it would be a little bit more. We don't need this guy. Let him throw 80 pitches, but I don't know what to expect from a Sauer pitch count. 24 pitches in his appearance on April 7th. I don't know. Does Vegas give us a lean on him? No. So I would imagine he's another 3 or 4 pitcher, and then it's a bullpen game. I can't really pitch him. Augustine Ramirez finally getting enough at bats to start populating numbers in the spreadsheet, and it's nasty. Against righties so far, no strikeouts, a 1.5 OPS, 684 ISO, 421 average. This has broke the bomb detector, so if you do have a subscription and you're looking at this unreal 21% probability to homer, you gotta know the sample is low and there's no sample on the pitcher, so it's really a flawed number. But I've been singing his praises, at least from a DFS standpoint, and he's been too cheap. We're starting to see a more realistic price point on him for DraftKings at 3,700. For the longest time, he was in the 2Ks. But he's still going to project really well in my projections. And I don't want to take that from him as a cleanup hitter with maximum at-bats against an unestablished pitcher and a bullpen that has been getting got. We saw Dane Myers get a grand slam off the pen yesterday. So I'm going to let it fly as it may, but I do want it to be known that it's not right, probably, but I don't know what right is for him. So let's put a pitcher projection here, then we'll sweep out the main slate and main stack ratings. We'll get some updated lineups in. If you guys got stuff you want to revisit or comments, concerns, we got some time. Almost 3 o'clock though. I don't want to be stepping on toes of all the homies, so I don't know. We'll go. If you gotta get out of here, it won't hurt my feelings. Just hit that thumbs up on your way out. Pitcher projections for Sandy. I'm gonna give him an 18%. And I'll give him 17% K rate. Sauer, it really doesn't matter what we do for him. I'm gonna give him a little bit more respect towards his minor league numbers. Give him 15%, though his minor league numbers kind of giving me a 20% vibe. Walk rate, but we're never gonna pitch him if we can't get over 5 innings. So not too worried about what his projection says. Let's go 11% walk rate for Sandy and Matt. I'll give him a 10. Ooh, is that Wyatt Langford leading off? Interesting line. The Rangers every day try to trick me with their lineup. At least they're putting out different lineups, man. One thing I can never really understand is when teams are losing so consistently, they're just throwing the same stuff out there every day, hoping it works. At least they're moving names around. I don't care if they're pulling names out of a hat. You know what I mean? All right, outs. Andy's at 17.5. A little juice on the over. Don't really love that. For Matt, I'm gonna give him a 12.5. So that's gonna give me our projections for the main slate. So we'll go get that going. Gotta take out the early slate. So Rodon, Gibson, Michaelis, Singa. What's up, Edward? Hope you're doing all right. They still have all day breakfast at McDonald's. Not at my McDonald's. I do like the McDonald's smoothies and the Egg McMuffins or the McGriddles. You start loading up on those freaking McDoubles and McChickens, after a while, you don't know what you're eating. Gore. And I feel like there's 2 pictures from a game that doesn't matter. Okay, Bybee and Paddock. Main slate gives us Freddie Peralta 1, Pivetta, Logan Webb, and then DeGrom. So I actually have DeGrom 4th. And I personally feel better about this, but I think I might be over respecting the Athletics and under respecting DeGrom, but I'm happy with this. Let's go main slate stack rating. Minnesota, let's take them out. Oh wait, no, we did it backwards. Take out those teams. You know, I added these drop downs and didn't code it into the back end for days like this. So bad on me. I gotta do that. But we are just so busy. Washington and Phillies, and then this is our main slate stack rating, giving us the Mets, Dodgers, Rays, Brewers, Red Sox. Man, my Cinderella, I love the Mariners. Maybe after we confirm some lineups, some things will change, but we'll see. All right, let's go update some lineups, and then we'll I guess we'll get out of here. But you guys got any bold calls, any questions, any comments, concerns, anything you want to look at? Throw it at me. Otherwise, so here's the plan, or here's the tentative plan. The idea is to do day streams like this, Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays. In my personal life, there are some things that I'm having to help some family members. I'll just speak real vague. And I might have to undertake one of those. I have an empty room in my house. So obviously I can't, you know, I'm not going to tell a family member needs help. I got to help them. And either today, tomorrow, the next day, you know, it's going to involve helping to move into this empty bedroom. The plan is still to stream tonight, but just give me a little bit of grace if either tonight or tomorrow something changes. But the plan is for me to stream tonight to knock out tomorrow's slate, assuming tomorrow is tomorrow. Yeah, it's an early slate tomorrow, so I would love to get some content out tonight to just knock that out. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try my hardest to get some up for the morning, and usually that it's between 10 and 11 p.m. But just know we're dealing with some stuff on the back end that might have to take precedence, but it should be fine. It should be fine. All right, the Orioles lineup looking confirmed. Not much changes for us. Like look, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't need two lefties in the first inning against a lefty, but who am I? You know? Cardinals lineup is confirmed. Keep an eye on these two games on the early slate as far as weather. Mason Wynn in the 2-hole. I want to get together. I'll probably throw some PrizePicks slips in the premium Discord. So when I throw the PrizePicks slips, it's usually like 5 and 6 pickers, low win rates, but you only need to hit like 1 out of 10 to have a solid day. So you can tell if you want to, or you can convert those into your bets on your book for 1-to-1, which is what Cam does. Cam is winning more off of my bets than I am. I'm a little jealous. But here in Texas, I just can't sports bet. So, but I like to reward my game by game research as much as possible. Especially on the bigger slates when every team plays. Cubs lineup confirmed, green light. Nationals lineup is out. Abrams, Wood, Garcia, Kybert, Ruiz batting cleanup. Nate Lowe, Josh Bell, Dylan Cruz, Jose Tena, Jacob Young. Yeah, definitely going to be all over the place. The big slates are just crazy because it's usually some sleeper team that drops 15 because some starter gets injured in the first. And we haven't really got to the blister season yet when it really starts to heat up. Then not only are we worried about high velo guys blowing the arms out, we got these high spinners forming blisters on their fingers, and it gets crazy. If you think about it, we're really just psychos for grinding baseball like this, but God, I love this sport. Drew Waters. I gotta see if the roof people are done so I can let Daisy in the backyard, man. She's been on the couch all day. Ooh, Yandy Diaz batting second. We do kind of like that to pick on those power splits. And Junior Caminero, okay. Oh, and Chris Morale batting, dude. I do like the real Rays lineup more than the projected. That's for sure. Caballero. Former Yankee great Ben Rortvedt. I believe he was part of the Josh Donaldson trade, maybe. And then he was traded to the Rays. Or let go, I don't know. Red Sox, Darren Duran, Devers, Breggy, Corey, Abreu, Campbell, Casas. The same, just 8-9er, a little different. That in. Bobicet, Vladdy, Santander, Springer, Kirk, Varsho. Love that for you. AJ Minter dealing with significant lat injury, season-ending surgery possibility. Dang. Not what you want. Mets lineup: Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Marte, batting cleanup. Mark Vientos, Luis Angel Acuna, Francisco Alvarez, Tyrone Taylor. I'm Tyrone. As the car. So Mets throw out one lefty against Erod. Right? Yeah. So Erod's 29% K rate to righties. We're gonna test it out. Maybe his slider is the truth. Lacio's Benintendi, Robert, Guerrero, on Baldwin, batting 6th. Osa, Vargas, Jacob Amaya. Jacob Amaya is listed as Jake Amaya in the DFS pricing, but Jacob and all the sites. Rangers, Shaw Smith, oh no, Wyatt Langford, yeah. Give your best player most at bats. And Higgy, I love Higgy, dude. That was my boy. But the fact that he's a top, he's gonna be batting in the first inning is wild in 2025, and that it's legitimately probably the best thing that the team could do. It's because of how shallow. I mean, you got Garcia batting 7th, bro. Garcia and Semien need to be studied. The fall is crazy. All right, so that is all that. So with that, let's go refresh the bomb detector. What we got going on here? Nothing crazy, just same names, just reshuffled. Go get our projections going. We'll take out our NAs. We'll take out our pitchers. Fanduel projections, same thing. Oops. And then with a couple of those confirmed lineups, as it changed the stack ratings a little bit, we saw a jump there. For looks like Seattle went up a little bit. Arizona's up. Pitcher rating changed at all a little bit, bottom half. Then we got an Astros lineup. We can get that in. Clickety clack. Man, I love how lineups just come flying at you though. We might get all lineups in or lock, even the late games. Astros look pretty 1-to-1 though. Zach DeZenzo, Jake Myers, and Dubon. So the Zenzo is going to up the K rate of potential a little bit, but we'll green light it. Yeah, tournament's gonna be great. You got to get the triple and quad dong, double dongers from the 8-hole and whatever. All right, I guess that's gonna do it. There's a lot of other shows on. Stochastics live, my boy Adam's live. I would imagine. Is Terry? Roto Scouts, is Terry live? I plug him the most. He's not. So there's a couple other cats talking baseball. If you guys want some more baseball chatter, go check them out. I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna go check this roof and get to work on some prop stuff. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. As always, hope you guys crush it tonight. Anything else for me? Twitter.com/Gundacker. Tell somebody you love them. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.